Hey there, this is Michael Blanc, and today's topic is my methodology for picking the best areas to invest in multifamily deals. So a lot of us would prefer to invest in our backyards. Well, it's close and we know our market, but for a lot of us, that's not really possible because properties are so overvalued and it forces us to look in other geographies. And if you start doing that, then all of a sudden you expand your geography to all of the US, and how do you narrow it down? So I want to give you my methodology for narrowing it down, and then three ways, so what I'll look for, and I'm going to give you three reports that will actually help you in doing that. So the first criteria I'll look for is basically look for areas you like. I mean, maybe you have a family in a city, or friends, or you just like the beach, or you like a certain city, or whatever it is. So make a list of those cities, right? Maybe top 10 or so. Then number two, you're going to look for two kind of economic indicators. You're looking for an area that has high yield as well as high growth. High yield meaning higher cap rates. See, these are areas that are not as overvalued as some other areas. For example, if you're in San Francisco or in Manhattan or in the East Coast, the cap rates are very low, right? And it's very difficult to kind of achieve the returns you're looking for. And as a result, we're forced to look more into the middle of the country where the cap rates are a little higher. So that's what I mean by high yield areas. These are higher cap rates. But we want to couple that with high growth, okay? And high growth meaning that these are areas where there's lots of employment coming in, lots of projected growth, a diversified employment base growth, people coming in, people having jobs. That's what we want to look for. So that's a combination from an economic indicator perspective. Now, there are three reports that help in identifying those areas. Number one is the Marcus and Millichap National Apartment Report. So you just kind of go to Marcus Millichap and you Google the Marcus Millichap National Apartment Report, and it's a free PDF you can download. You just have to put in your email address. But what it does, it looks at some of the largest metropolitan areas, and it ranks them by various indices, and it shows you the vacancy rates, the rental rates, sales trends, cap rate and yield, employment growth. They have different indices like the high octane or high growth index, which conveniently ranks these cities and makes it very easy to see where they are. The second report is the IRR Viewpoint Report, and you can get that at IRR.com. It's the IRR Viewpoint Report. And this one's interesting because it maps different cities on different market cycles, right? So it's kind of like a curve, kind of like a buyer's market, seller's market, oversupply, undersupply, recession, growth, right? It's kind of market cycles. And ideally what we want is we want areas that have come out of the recession and are starting to grow again, and we want to avoid those areas that are at their peak and declining. So there's really four phases of the market cycle, and IRR Viewpoint Report plots different cities along that. So we want to look for areas that are in the recovery/expansion markets, and we want to avoid properties that are in hypersupply or recession markets. Those are the terms that they use. Okay, so you can cross-reference, one list with another, and then you cross-reference with the third report, which is the Milken Best Performing Cities Report. Milken is Milken, and best thing is you just Google these things. Milken Best Performing Cities Report, and the Milken Best Performing Cities Report ranks the largest 200 cities and the smallest or the middle size, the top performing 200 cities, and by specifically job growth, quality of life, that kind of stuff. So what you can do, putting all this stuff together, you kind of create the short list for each of these reports, and you cross-reference them. And the more cities are hit, the more of the criteria, the higher they will rank, right? So I have the economic indicators, the job growth, the trends for vacancy rate I want down. I want the growth of rents to go up, sales going up. I want job growth. So you create these top 10 lists, and the more overlap you have, the higher that city ranks. And then finally, how do you like spending time in that city? If you prefer sunnier weather, maybe you should focus on some of the cities in Florida that are good, that are performing well, like Tampa, Orlando, and Jacksonville. Also performing well are Cincinnati and Cleveland, St. Louis. But if you don't like those areas, then maybe you stick with the sunnier ones, right? And my other criteria is that I want to be able to fly there with a direct flight of 2 hours or less. So those are my criteria, and I kind of create a spreadsheet, and with all these criteria, and I kind of create my top 5 or top 3 areas to invest in. So anyway, in short, that's the methodology that I use for identifying and evaluating cities. So hopefully that was useful. I'll catch you on the next video. Hey there, and thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I want to give you 3 things to do in sequence. Let me give you a quick tour of what those 3 things are, and then I'll show you how to do them. Number 1 is to download my free ebook called The 10-Minute Offer. It's all about making offers quickly, accurately, to give you confidence about analyzing deals and making offers. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I put out new videos all the time and I want you to make sure you get them. That's number 2. Number 3 is to watch the next video in line. All right, so I'm going to go give you a chance to do that right now. And when you click on one of these things, a new tab will open up, and for the ebook. Okay, so click on the ebook, and new tab will open up. The video will stop playing. You can go back to the video and click on step 2, which is subscribe to the channel. That'll open up a new tab as well. And then 3 is when you click on the last one to watch the next video in line. That'll open up in a current window. All right, I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you in the next video.